Yeah, we're sick of it. We're sick of this bullshit. This is what you're getting. So the more you do this, Disney, Iger, what is this girl's name? Rachel Zegler, whatever her name is. Yes, this is exactly the backlash you're gonna get from parents.
I got the call that I got the role, and I sat down on the gravel. I was about to play a round of disc golf with my little brother.
Aww.
And I sat down and I just thought, wow, my life is really gonna change after this, and it had.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie,
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's
That crunch that's not merely another Disney venture failing. It's Snow White exploding on release, $270 million lost forever. A project that was meant to be a legacy. Defining remake instead became a warning story.
there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
I think there's something so special about Snow White, the fact that it's about the humanity and it's about nature as well, and it's a beautiful story about an amazing girl who wants to find the true self of hers.
If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what? Smart. Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're gonna bring another person to play this role.
Swift and right at the heart of this massive disaster. Rachel Zegler. Not just the main actress, not just an emerging talent, allegedly the chaos creator who altered the narrative, overrode the heritage, and made herself the focal figure in the worst possible way. Let's not overlook.
Controversy in Snow White. The dwarves have been eliminated in the live action.
Yeah.
Now it's Snow White and the 7 magical beings.
Wait, it's 7 and the magical beings.
Yeah,
They won't even
7
say
magical
and the 7
beings.
dwarves.
No, because they're not dwarves. For right now, that's the only jobs that are there.
I wanted my money back. It was very disappointing.
Pretending like Rachel Zegler is the first of them all when she looks like Lord Farquaad in the film.
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million.
Into this, the first villain Disney ever had. It's really getting myself into this big crown.
Oh my God.
For remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erased that whole.
Zegler was once celebrated as the golden talent of Gen Z Hollywood Spielberg's fresh muse, a rising voice, a beacon of the new age of fame. But now executives reportedly wince when her name is spoken.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
Queen playing the evil queen. It was pretty amazing.
She came out and she said, I apologize. Like I went too far, but it wasn't.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Publicists maintain their distance agencies assess the danger, like they're managing hazardous material. What went so awry? Why did one of Disney's most cherished tales turn into their most humiliating financial blizzard? And how did one young actress, with a few remarks and bold attitude, manage to sink a worldwide launch buckle up because this isn't just a failure?
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements as first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so fun.
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
It's a full-scale industry meltdown and the icy storm it's still approaching. Every disaster has a trigger for Snow White. It arrived in the form of a grin and a few updated comments.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
In a rediscovered 2022 interview, Rachel Zegler chuckled while labeling the original 1937 prince a creep. She ridiculed the romance, she minimized the heritage. She stared straight into the camera and told the world that the source material she was now headlining was, quote, odd. At first, nobody cared, but when Disney launched their 2025 campaign, that interview clip surged back to life like a ghost with a vendetta. TikTok seized it, fan accounts paired it with classic scenes from the original, and just like that, Not My Snow emerged. One clip sparked a meme tornado. Influencers, nostalgia critics, and Disney devotees took aim and they hit hard. But the true harm came from perception. Zegler wasn't merely an actress in the movie, she became. The face of Disney's misguided approach. Fans said she didn't grasp the character, critics said she lacked respect for the legacy. And when Disney attempted to silently erase the interview from press kits and search engines, the Streisand effect struck like a bull. That clip was everywhere on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, over 200 million views in 2 days. And with each share, the trust crumbled fast. Nobody cared how the film appeared anymore. They cared who was starring in it, and that tainted everything that followed. What fans didn't know until the leaks surfaced was just how far Zegler's influence extended. According to insiders, she wasn't just portraying Snow White, she was allegedly reshaping her sources. Claims Zegler arrived at story sessions with mood boards packed with buzzwords, leadership, independence, modern womanhood, post-romantic themes, the kind of content you find in a corporate HR manual. Producers were shocked. Directors raised concerns, but Zegler, with support from her team, allegedly insisted on script revisions. Gone was the concept of true love's kiss. Instead, speeches about self-worth. The prince was demoted to a minor role. The romance that shaped the original was erased like a mistake the dwarfs were. Next, not 7 charming characters but mystical figures cast more for optics than appeal. Internally, crew members began calling the movie Not Snow. As a jest, resentment grew, and yet Zegler kept pushing. She reportedly vetoed a choreographed dance scene because it seemed outdated. She demanded reshoots of the ending 3 separate times. That's tens of millions spent on altering a movie that audiences hadn't even seen and wouldn't enjoy. When they finally did what was intended to be a reinvention, became a sermon, a fairy tale stripped of magic and coded in corporate rhetoric. And it wasn't even Zegler's movie anymore. It was her platform. This wasn't just a creative failure. It was a financial disaster, with a production and marketing budget soaring past $270 million. Snow White needed to be a colossal global hit just to break. Even instead, it stumbled at the start. Opening weekend was dismal, $43 million domestic. That's less than most mid-tier animated releases. International numbers barely shifted. The final worldwide gross stalled under $95 million. And that's with aggressive international promotions, dubbed releases, and merchandising campaigns that failed harder than the film. The figures sent shockwaves through Disney's executive suite. Reports leaked that several approved remakes were quietly canceled. Merch partners withdrew. Even Disney Plus recalibrated its promotional schedule. And then came the insurance fallout. Completion bond insurers, companies who back projects in case of production catastrophes, started raising rates on anything Zegler was linked to. Agencies called it the Rachel tax. One insider claimed budgets with her name on it were automatically flagged for instability. The message was clear. She wasn't just box office poison. She was a liability, a risk to the bottom line, a risk to branding, a risk to morale. Things took a catastrophic turn when someone from the inside broke ranks. Jonah Platt, son of renowned producer Mark Platt and an entertainment veteran in his own right, unleashed a scathing rant on Instagram. His message was clear. Zegler's public comments sank the film, and the fallout impacted the facing a bad box office. She was facing a potential replacement, a younger, more appealing actress, one whose very existence sent a message Disney was ready to move forward. And here's where it gets even harsher. Industry insiders claimed Zegler's name was quietly dropped from future Disney promotional decks, future tie-ins canceled, long-term licensing deals postponed. The studio was clearly testing the waters to see if audiences would embrace another face in that iconic role. As rumors circulated, other actresses began circling like sharks. Agents started pitching to Disney, casting directors. Whispers of, "If Cooper can't commit, our client is ready," hit inboxes. Everyone sensed opportunity. Zegler's throne fractured, her crown unsteady. What was once her breakout franchise had become a trapdoor. The role she thought was hers forever had become the most fragile thing in Hollywood. Because when $1 billion studio starts shopping for replacements, you're not a star anymore, you're a risk mitigation strategy. Hollywood doesn't run on creativity, it runs on data. Specifically, a spreadsheet most people never see. One that classifies talent not by acting skill, but by liability. Every major agency, insurer, and production house uses it. They don't call it the risk matrix in public, but insiders know exactly what it is. It's a color-coded breakdown of every actor's risk score. Green means safe, yellow means proceed with caution, red means avoid at all costs unless you're begging. For headlines, lawsuits, or budget overruns. Rachel Zegler, once solidly green, is now reportedly glowing red. Not because she committed a crime, not because she failed her performance, but because she's now seen as erratic, controversial, and most critically, bad for profits 6 months ago. Zegler's name on a casting sheet would have accelerated meetings, now it's a deal breaker. Producers hesitate, studio heads grimace, one exec allegedly quipped, "She's not talent, we'd need a crisis PR budget just to shoot the teaser." Even mid-budget films, those passion projects where creative freedom used to outweigh reputation, are reportedly declining. The problem isn't just the Snow White flop, it's the ripple effect completion bond underwriters now charge. A premium if Zegler is involved. Agencies privately caution clients not to co-star with her unless their brand can withstand the backlash she's become, what industry insiders call a soft blacklist name. No formal ban, just endless obstacles, awkward silences and vanishing callbacks. Worse still, streamers who used to be havens for risky talent are allegedly ignoring her team. Netflix skipped her name in their Q3 lineup. Rumors Hulu reps reportedly passed on a YA fantasy project once her name was mentioned. Disney, already battered, has shelved any sequel discussions and removed her from internal branding decks, and it doesn't stop there. Investor calls for Q2 2025 included a vague but pointed phrase, adjusted guidance due to underperformance, of a major live-action IP translation. Zegler's film flopped so hard it caused fiscal damage. No one said her name, but they didn't have to. Everyone in that call knew. Behind closed doors, she's earned a grim nickname, the PR time bomb, meaning it's not if she implodes again. It's when studio lawyers now draft Zegler clauses into new contracts, tightened NDAs, stricter press controls, even pre-approved quote lists. It's the kind of treatment normally reserved for actors fresh out of scandal, or rehab to the public. She may still post vibrant selfies and uplifting quotes, but inside Hollywood, the mood is bleak. Everyone knows the spreadsheet doesn't lie. Once you're red, you're toxic. And unless Zegler pulls off a comeback, so extraordinary. It rewrites the rules she's headed for a long, harsh freeze. This isn't just a tough chapter in a rising star's career. It's something far graver. It's what happens when a lead role turns into a long-term liability. When one movie doesn't just fail. It brands you. This is reputation damage that lingers. This is exile disguised as silence. Social media is relentless, and it never forgets the Prince stalker clip turned into a viral beast. But that was just the beginning. TikTok creators reenacted. Zegler's interviews with paper crowns and cardboard props, Instagram reels flooded feeds with side-by-side comparisons of her quotes, and the original film late-night comedians had a field day. One joked, "Snow White used to fall asleep with a kiss. Now she falls asleep mid-speech." The internet loved it. Disney, not so much. Even Reddit got in on the criticism threads, dissected every frame of the trailer, mocking Zegler's delivery. The tone, the visuals, fans said the magic was absent. Critics said it never arrived in the first place, and then the harshest blow of all Google search trends for 5 straight weeks. Snow White disaster outranked Snow White tickets.